Put your red shirt on and a brown coat too. Everybody's joining the crew. We got just one ring, let we rule them all. Hope you remember your towel. Get your Ulu feathers and your needler guns. A sonic screwdriver or a sword +1. Use Valerian steel it will get you to count. To the pit tank. To the pit tank. The Rocky Mountain pit tank.
Hi, I'm Guy.
Hi, I'm Troy.
And this is Geek Tank.
Your I take a deep breath and look up in the sky and wonder what's going on size podcast.
So we're coming into tonight's show. I'm still remote in the great state of Texas, and Troy is remote in the great state of Colorado, and that's just the way it always goes. And so there's that. Troy is remote in the exact same place he's always been.
And it's not remotely different.
No, it's not. Although we do, occasional snow in both places now.
Mm-hmm.
I came all the way down here to have it snow on me. So
good job.
Well, thanks. I worked hard on that, just so you know.
So we were gonna do one thing, and then we decided not to do that thing. So we don't have
another thing.
We're gonna do some other thing.
Yeah.
And so we're making it up as we go along.
Yep, which is great. We've got a bunch of really interesting technology things that have happened in the last week that I think are kind of cool. SN10 with SpaceX, which is their newest Starship technology thing, had its 9 kilometer launch and test fire, and it made it all the way up to 8 kilometers, 9 kilometers, then turned around, came all the way back down, landed, and then 10 minutes later exploded.
Yeah, because at least the timing was all where it was supposed to be on that. It waited 10 minutes and went, oh, I was supposed to blow up, and then it blew up. So.
Right. It had like memory problems. It just forgot it was supposed to blow up.
Yeah, it's like it was doing its checklist. Take off, check. Land, check. Explode. Explode. Okay, now I'll do that.
I think really, that's one of those things that's what we're doing. That's what SpaceX is doing, is it's training their rockets to blow up later. So they're just trying to train it to keep, and the hope is that by the time they get them field tested, they will have trained the blow up to be past the defueling stage.
Yeah, since we're talking about it, let me see if I can do this here.
Share the video.
Yeah, you ready?
Ready?
Okay. Just sitting there trying to figure out what's happening. Oh, man, it blows up.
Suddenly. What a wonderful explosion.
Yeah. If you check it out on YouTube, it's great because you can see the explosion and then hear the sound, which is exactly how explosions and sounds work. It's not all at the exact same time.
Right.
Is that a different one blowing up?
No,
that's the successful launch.
So this is it lifting off. You can see it. Yeah, we've got kind of it going there, and it's just great. I keep saying this is the most one of the things that's amazing about SpaceX is that they're doing all of these science fiction-y things. Mm-hmm. And in this case, it just looks like a Buck Rogers rocket.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like something straight out of a 1930s serial. And you can see that it does its little flip over here. Mm-hmm. And so it made it up to 10 clicks. That's good. Then it falls back down. This is intentional. I know it looks weird, but it's intentional. But it's this flip over maneuver, which looks like it's CG. It looks like it's CGI. We were all looking at it going, we all know this is real, but it doesn't look real because that camera is just right on it, and it's doing something that should not. This shot right here. Mm-hmm. I mean, that just doesn't look real.
Yeah, it's not physics that people are used to seeing with actual rocket ships. And it's like, that's not how rockets are supposed to land in real life. That's how they land in science fiction.
Right.
And Elon Musk is like, why not? Let's make it work like this for real.
And Brent's saying that they think it's a methane leak. And that's plausible. I would be okay with that. But then it gets all the way down there and then it explodes.
Yeah, that was it. All right, I'll stop sharing the video. And thank you, The Guardian, for letting me swipe that you gave me permission.
They didn't give us permission.
They didn't. I just took it, like many things in life. You just go and take it.
So Brent's saying that we have an awful lot of movies and long-awaited sequels out tomorrow.
Oh. Well, we know it's the end of WandaVision, which you're very far behind.
I'm way behind. I'm looking forward to coming back. We'll probably be binging that. So we'll probably be totally.
It's easy to do too because they're only half-hour episodes.
Right. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to turn up here and say what's coming up this weekend. Right. So we've got.
I can give you my kids' reviews of the live-action Tom and Jerry movie. It was not good.
I really am looking forward to Raya and the Last Dragon. That one's a good one. I'm looking forward to that one a lot.
I really liked The Last Dragon the first time it came out, and he, caught the bullet.
2 apparently is coming out. So that's cool.
The new SpongeBob movie.
New SpongeBob movie. Wait.
At the end of the month, we get Godzilla versus King Kong.
Now that one's another one that I'm looking forward to, and so are the kids that my stepmom works with down here. She works with these kids, and they're just dying for that. So that's cool. And I'm hoping that maybe we'll be able to hit up the Alamo for that. I think that might be something we might try to. I don't know. I'm worried about the Alamo. That's other news. That's
well. The good news is it's not full-fledged.
Chapter 13 and Chapter 11.
Yeah.
But they've filed for Chapter 11. Yeah. For those of you who aren't familiar, the Alamo Drafthouse is a chain of movie theaters that serves food. So that's like their shtick. But
and beer.
And beer. Hence the Drafthouse. But they've got a really unique set of rules and stuff, like you cannot turn your phone on. If you turn your phone on during the show, you'll get one warning, and the second warning you get kicked out.
Same for talking during the movie, which you go to most movie theaters, that seems to be the norm now. People just have a conversation in the middle of the film.
Right.
So if you like watching a movie without people causing a problem, the Alamo is the place to go.
Right. But then they also do these really nice I don't want to call them previews because they're not. They make
it's a pre-show. It's a pre-show.
Pre-show, and they cut together little things that are related to the show. When I went to see, for example,
Pacific Rim,
they were cutting together Godzilla movie pieces, bits and pieces of Godzilla movies with bits and pieces of every robot thing that's ever been out.
Various anime,
and it was wonderful. So kind of sad to see the Alamo declaring Chapter 11, but I am heartened to know that it's Chapter 11 and not Chapter 13. And it seems to be closing down Maryland and Texas and not Colorado. I don't even know if it's Maryland.
I think from what I've heard,
really weird, somewhere out in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, that's weird.
From what I've heard, the ones in Colorado are franchises. So that might be what's helping save their butts in the situation.
Yeah, I'm worried about the Westminster one because it hasn't been opened. It was open for 6 months and then shut down for COVID. And every time, because they opened it and it was open for business, and we'd gone there a couple of times. It's a great theater. But then it shut down for COVID, and I haven't seen it open since.
Earthquake.
Yeah, yeah, well, nobody knew that Colorado was full of earthquakes, but yeah. This is a TIL for all of you people. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so yeah, I guess the big one that I'm looking forward to, speaking of movies this weekend, is Raya and the Last Dragon, which I have been looking forward to for a long time. It is a really nifty alternate universe that's like an alternate China, an alternate ancient China with mixtures of all of the Pacific Island sort of cultures mixed together. Not just Japan and China, but Korea and Tonga, and they're moving through a whole bunch of, and it's all a martial arts flick. And so all the martial arts styles are all of those really cool Southeast Asian martial arts styles that we're all very fond of. But people who like martial arts, some of these people are doing styles that are very obscure. And it's nice to see them getting in the, because everybody has heard of karate or kung fu or things like that. But some of these, like Muay Thai and stuff like that, are very, very obscure martial arts. So I'm looking forward to seeing that, just to see the cool art style or martial arts styles they've got going for it. So that's nifty. So definitely a plus.
And it's animated, which is
Always
automatic.
a plus in my world.
Yep. Coming up a couple of weeks is the Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League, which is getting, lots of people are excited, and a lot of people are like, "Why bother?" And it's I'm curious to see if there's any way to actually salvage the film, because I was not impressed with it. I'm not even sure why I watched it necessarily. Right. After Batman versus Superman. But it wasn't horrible, but it definitely had its issues.
Right.
And I felt more bad for the actors, because it wasn't like the actors were necessarily bad. It was just it just feels like DC is always trying to play catch up with Marvel instead of like finding their own footing.
Right.
And I don't know. Now Shazam was actually a good movie, and I had fun with it. So
I'm sorry, I'm having issues.
Are you okay?
Yep. Again, I'm trying to get the trailer for Raya and the Last Dragon.
Oh, okay. I do know that a lot of people were curious to see that what was done with the Zack Snyder version. I know in the trailer they show a quick glimpse of the Joker, which was all kind of new, but I don't know what they're going to do. It's just DC hasn't been super impressive, and which is sad, because I would like to see DC do better. Are you having trouble finding it, or do you have
I'm
it ready?
having trouble with controls. Like, I share my screen and it instantly puts it up there. I wanted it over here in the add to stream part, so I didn't have, so we could keep talking and then load it when we get to that point, instead of doing it right now, which is not what I'm trying to do. You know how that goes.
Yeah, but that's the other geeky movie that I know.
And some Brent's saying he's pretty mad about Zack Snyder.
That's where I'm at. I'm on the same boat.
Yeah,
it's kind of like I feel like I'll probably watch it, because I watch a lot of bad stuff anyway.
Right.
It's like I recently watched. I fast forward watched Bring It On, because I couldn't remember if I'd seen it, and it's got actresses in it that were in Buffy and stuff. So I was curious to go back and watch it again, and for the trivia and aspect. But I probably spent like 20 minutes watching the 2-hour movie, because I fast forward through most of it. But not that it's just not my type of movie, but I was curious to go back and check it out again, kind of. But I'll probably do the same with, the whole Zack Snyder part. I'll fast forward past all the parts I remember from the non-Zack Snyder part, just to get to the Zack Snyder parts and say, oh, so that part's added.
Right.
Shrug. So let's see this trailer you got.
Yeah, here, let's bring up Raya and the Last Dragon here. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and do this.
All right, guys. Remember what we're looking for. And don't trust anyone. Hey, baby. Where are your parents? Hey, who's baby? What? Really? Come on, baby? Impressive. We could use someone like you. Let's catch you up. My name is Raya. Our lands have been at war for as long as we can remember. Our people never see eye to eye.
My daughter, I believe our people can come together again, but someone has to take the first step.
Now, in order to restore peace, we must find the last dragon.
I wish to join this fellowship of Paketori.
Let's go. We'll have to watch our backs. We're not the only ones looking. 6 years of searching. Please let this be it. Oh, my knee sees you.
Who said that?
We really need your help.
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not like the best dragon. Have you ever done like a group project, but there's like that one kid who didn't pitch in as much, but still ended up with the same grade?
We're doomed. You and the dragon are coming with me. My sword here says we're not. The world's broken. can't trust anyone.
Maybe it's broken because you don't trust anyone. You just have to take the first step. Such a shape change. Dragons can do that? Look how close my butt is to my head. It's gonna make digestion so much faster.
In theaters or ordered on Disney Plus with Premier Access, March 5th.
There we go.
Your audio reminded me of being at like a drive-in movie theater.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a weird echo sound.
Oh, it's probably because I should have turned my mic off. We're learning.
That would probably be it.
Because it's coming out of my speakers and then going right into the camera.
I see. So
there's that.
I'll share mine now since you shared that, just because I have to. See if it starts right away like yours did. It does. It likes to start right away. You want to make that full size?
Yes.
I think I need to turn it up. Where's the volume?
No, you need to click the. So here, stop.
Okay.
Stop. Okay. Unshare and then reshare, and this time click the little check mark that says share my audio.
I did.
Oh well, then turn it up.
Okay. Nope. It doesn't want to turn up. Oh well, never mind. In any case, that's the last dragon that I'm familiar with. The Shogun of Harlem. And you don't have to watch that whole thing. Especially since the audio is not being friends. Forget you, audio. That's weird. The audio is so low. Yeah, I can hear it better in my headphones now, but that is not sharing it, but wacky. You know what? I've muted you now somehow, though.
I hear a lot of better in my headphones. I'm just saying.
Sure enough. Probably watched it like easily 5 times the first time I discovered it back in the days of cable television.
Anyway, unlike Mulan, the live action movie, which I wasn't as happy with, although it wasn't as bad as I expected it to be.
The movie itself wasn't bad. It was the whole everything surrounding the movie.
Yeah, everything surrounding the movie was kind of ugly, but on the flip side, it really wasn't that awesome. I mean, I sum it up in one sentence, which is Ming-Na Wen had one line. I mean, you put Ming-Na Wen in the movie.
I did.
One whole line. And I'm like, Ming-Na Wen? You did that with Ming-Na Wen? What kind of person are you people? I mean, I don't expect Ming-Na Wen to be playing Mulan. She is like 55. But it's still, you have one of like the awesomest martial artists on the planet in this movie, and she walks in and says, Fa Mulan, and then walks off. It's like, and you're like,
you could cast her in Mulan 5 where Mulan becomes the Empress of China.
Yeah, that's going to be like the second version. Anyway, unlike that one, which I didn't actually want to spend extra money on Disney Plus for, this one I might actually spend a little bit of extra money for it because I think it's only like a handful of dollars. I don't know what it is.
Oh, are they not? It's not automatically a Disney thing. Oh, I don't know. I'm not. HBO Max is doing the thing where it's like any movie they're releasing in theaters, or it seems like the movies they're releasing in theaters, they're releasing for no additional charge on HBO Max. I'm looking forward to the remake of Suicide Squad that they're doing, done by James Gunn.
Here, I'll just hit and search here.
That's what that's.
Oh man,
$1,000.
No, it's $30.
Ouch.
That's steep enough that I might wait.
It's kind of like if you were going to go and take a family of 5 to the theater anyway, then that balances out. But if it's just you,
yeah, that's sort of the thing. But the problem is, my wife. She'll say $30. You can wait.
Well, that's how I am with most video games. It's like, oh, $60 now or $20 next Christmas.
Disney Plus Premier Access. What is Disney Plus Premier Access?
Apparently $30.
Okay, so it's just 30. It's just
Oh,
you pay $30 for the movie.
probably per movie would be my guess.
Yeah, $30 per movie. Which you're absolutely right. If I were going to go to the theater, it'd cost us $100, or whatever, with a kid and popcorn, and especially since now we go to the Alamo. That's
The good thing is their popcorn, which is like somewhere between $5 and $10 for a thing, is free refills. They use real butter, and they come straight to you and bring it to you, so you don't even have to go back for it and get your one free refill.
the only thing that the only problem is what happens when you go to the bathroom at the Alamo. They need to fix that problem.
Oh, like just bring you an extra bowl,
Right? Exactly.
free catheters.
We already solved this problem.
Mhm.
See? People.
Yeah, I don't know how they're doing their refills and their food stuff now under the current situation.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Well, I mean, I guess they're doing it under any restaurants. They're probably not doing refills. You're probably having to get a new bowl every time.
right.
Which,
I don't know. Or maybe they bring like an extra large bowl and just pour it into your bowl.
the other thing that's great about Alamo?
Everything.
They also have iced tea, unsweet iced tea, which like is a hit or miss for theaters. I usually end up having to get a Coke because there's nothing but water to drink, And given a choice of water or Coke, I'll probably just go for a Coke and just. But it's one of those. I actually don't mind the taste of Coke, and it's funny because my dad, who might be out there watching, hi Dad. If he's watching this, hi. He had always said that whenever he stopped drinking the sugar sodas, he couldn't drink them anymore because they were syrupy and sticky. I've never had that experience. I still enjoy, from time to time drinking a Coke. But it's once every 6 months to a year now that I'll ever do that. And so I don't mind it because we don't go to the movies that often. We can't afford to. So, we'll go to the movies once or twice a year anyway. So it's not a big deal. But it is nice that the Alamo has iced tea because then I don't have to be forced into that decision.
Right. I've become spoiled too. If it's not my preferred diet soda, I only like regular soda if it's the Coke from McDonald's because they over syrup theirs a certain way. And so it just has that taste that I've become addicted to, that if I'm going to get it, that's the one I want, if it's not the other stuff.
As a side note, McDonald's is really evil. They have the best iced tea. Their coffee, I don't know what's going on with their coffee, but I just love to go get a large black coffee from McDonald's and just pour it over ice and then drink it.
It's because it's $1.
Well, yeah. Oh, that's what it is. So they cut up male deer and put it in.
It makes it tasty. Being a carnivore,
Right. As a carnivore, that makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
I get it now.
Yeah, it's they're definitely the best coffee for the price that you're paying. Is what I found. And or you could pay $2 and get one that's already over ice, or you could ask for the cup of ice for free and get the $1 coffee and pour it over it yourself, depending on how watery you want to make it, I guess. So one of the things I love about the Alamo, right after their pre-shows, which are amazing, and you can actually go to YouTube and look up Alamo Drafthouse pre-shows, and you can go check out some of them on YouTube, and they're just lots of fun. I'm disappointed when I do not make it to the movie a half hour early to watch the pre-show. Right. Whenever I go there, I feel like I'm not getting my money's worth then. But they also do all kinds of great little extra stuff. Like they did a trilogy called the Cornetto Trilogy, which was Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, and World's End, which were the three films by Edgar Wright, and Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are the actors in it. And so they actually did that trilogy. And I think it was like $20 to get in, but it was for all three movies back to back. So it was a movie marathon, watching them all. And then they had, of course, they tend to do special drinks and food setups off of certain movies that they're airing. So like you could actually get Cornetto ice cream at that trilogy. So I remember years ago, I took my kids to they had a breakfast cereal buffet bar. So it was like all the different breakfast cereals and milk. And then they showed like 3 hours of just mixed together cartoons, old Saturday morning cartoons. So it was
awesome.
Tons of fun. Yeah, it's it'll be very, very sad if they don't survive the pandemic. But
Oh yeah, that's going to be crushing. That's going to be so sad.
but hopefully there's enough of a demand for that kind of theater. Another one will rise up and take its place. When
Well,
the
we
time
had talked
comes.
about this in a previous Geek Take. We talked about the idea of evolution of movie theaters and how they
Yeah.
needed to be forced to evolve.
Yeah, they need to be better than just a place you go to see a movie.
Right. For those who are not familiar with this, during the beginning of the pandemic, we had done a show where we discussed AMC had a specific deal that said that HBO and streaming services could not show a movie on streaming until 6 months had elapsed so that they could have an exclusive on it. The problem is that had made the movie theaters artificially manipulating the environment so they didn't have to grow and they didn't have to change. And now that the pandemic has hit, people are saying, well, we can't go to the movie theaters. And so the streaming services are like, you know what, we're just going to release the movies straight to streaming. And AMC is like, well, you broke our contract. We will never air any of your other movies ever again. This is, by the way, I think this was Paramount and AMC that had gotten into this fight. So, you know, in other words, they were starting to get grumpy about it. Well, this is a lose-lose for AMC, and I don't know why they're doing that. Because it's just going to kill AMC theaters. Because, like we were saying, Alamo has the deal going for it here. Alamo has the style here. This idea of putting in a restaurant and putting in, you know, funny things in front of the movie, having specific rules and regulations that are good for movie watching. All of those things are great, and the seats are huge recliners, and they've got a massive space in front of them, little tables, so you can put your stuff there. And I mean, it's just a great place. They make movie going an experience, which is what it should be. So reviving the theory. So the TLDR on that one is, I'm hoping that they survive because I think they've got the business model that needs to live.
First time I went to one of the reclining chair movie theaters, I murdered my soda because I didn't realize how it worked. And so I put my soda down in front of me to look around, and my leg accidentally hit the button and it started reclining out of my control and knocked over the soda. And it's like, technology, it's killing me. But then,
or maybe that was just some kind of weird technology god that was just saying, that's it, Troy, you're done.
It was AI. It was making its move early to take over.
Yeah, I have been saying thank you to my Alexa so that I can, you know, make sure I'm protecting myself for when our robot or overlords take over. I'm hoping that my Alexa will defend me. This is my plan.
And say, yeah, that human's worth leaving around.
Yeah, this human was nice to me. He always said thank you and please. So, yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Kindness.
You're not really that much into the action movie genre. Did you watch any of the John Wick films?
No, I did not.
I know it's not up your alley.
I keep watching the first 10 minutes over and over and over and over, and I'm not exactly sure why. It seems like that one I've got like down. Anything after the first 10 minutes and I seem to walk away. It's not holding my attention. However, what is holding my attention is The Expanse. So I'm just saying.
Okay. Well, the reason I bring it up is coming out at the end of March is a movie called Nobody, which looks like it's set in the same universe, but with different actors.
Oh.
And the actor Bob Odenkirk, who is more well known for being a comedian and being an improv, because he was in the Bob Odenkirk and David Cross show, and also played the lawyer Saul Goodman in Breaking Bad, and now has his own show, Better Call Saul, is the action star of Nobody. So he's one of those actors that you wouldn't normally look at and think of as being a John Wick style action hero.
So you'd say he was kind of a nobody.
He's kind of a nobody.
Yeah.
It was turning out to be somebody.
He's turning out to be somebody.
But it looks like it's one of those. It's one of those tropes, but done well enough that's worth watching, because he's gets in a situation where he doesn't murder everyone and is kind of given crap about it by all of his friends, and it turns out he actually is a murder machine and has decided to stop being a murder machine, but is being forced back into life. So it's
Warner Brothers, says Brent, by the way. For those who are watching, it's Warner Brothers. And that's right. I remember this. That was where we were. All my notes are back in Colorado, so I'm in my dad's office here, kind of sitting here going, well.
And none of those notes are helpful.
Nope. Dad's notes don't help me any.
No.
Although he's got some cool stuff, just none of his notes help me any. I am, so for those of you who are wondering, I should be returning. We are actually on this, at this moment, we're departing here Monday morning. We should be arriving Tuesday night. I'm going to go on ahead, if you're one of those folks like Brent is who watches my daily show, I'm not going to resume my daily show until the following week so that I can have a week to get everything organized because I left everything kind of in disorder up there. So there'll be a week before I can get back in there and everything like that, but should be okay.
You'll just have to watch Trevor Noah's daily show instead until...
Right, exactly. Not my daily show.
Right.
But mine's better. We all know that. I mean, I don't mean knock Trevor Noah because he's cool, but mine's better.
You do more art than he does, I would say, for sure.
That's true. It's a little bit more artsy, my shows.
Yeah.
But the reason I say that is because I'm looking forward to getting back to my 3D printer.
Because you didn't get to play with it really before then.
No, I didn't. And I got my plate leveler just as, or like 3 days after I got left, because there's a defect, not a defect, a design flaw in that particular machine where the platform has a ball joint. So after a while, that ball joint gets loose, and every time you print something, it just kind of falls over like this and screws up your print. So I ordered an aluminum deck leveler that replaces that ball joint with 4 screws that you can adjust, and it locks the plate in that position, so it never has to be adjusted again once it's adjusted. So the whole point here was to maximize my ability to get good prints, because as Brent is fond of telling me, I will screw up a few before I get anywhere right. And my hope here is to screw up as few of them as I can.
Right.
So that I don't have 6 weeks of everything is blown up and, 6 jugs of resin before I finally get it squared away. Because I'll get discouraged and I'll get frustrated with it. And I don't want to get frustrated and discouraged. I'm looking forward to tiny ships. There's a guy on Facebook who has been modeling all of the old FASA ships, the old FASA miniatures. And so I am just dying to print all those little FASA miniatures out and then put them out to field on attack wing or something. I don't know how we'll do it. I don't know what its style will be, but I know somebody has made a fan version of the Enterprise C. So I'm looking forward to doing that, getting an ambassador class for that, because I know that's one that would be cool. But short of
my son got a quote from 2 different 3D print places for this helmet that he wants to make. And one place was like over 300 and the other place was over 1,000.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's better to just buy your own printer and print your own helmet at that point. But the problem is, because it's a helmet, all of these 3D printers that you would use for miniatures, the beds are way too small for them.
Oh yeah, the bed I've got's like this.
Yeah.
I could build it, but only in little teeny pieces.
Yeah, you'd have to shrink his head.
Yeah.
You could make a Lego-sized version of it.
He could get. What he needs to do is go to a head shrinker.
Yep.
And then it'll fit. I can make this big, and it'll be fine. So that's fine. Maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe just build a shrink ray. That'll be cheap.
Could be. So for $1,000, you could probably just get an actual blacksmith to make a real helmet for you.
Right. I'm a blacksmith and
an actual
blacksmith
functioning helmet that'll protect your head.
Right. Don't worry, Brent. I'll be back. We'll start not this
Printing.
next Monday, but the following Monday.
Start breathing resin fumes together.
Yeah, we'll start breathing resin fumes together as a team. Team resin fume breathing. I'm actually going to put my printer. I've already got the beginning of it, a little shelf that puts it right by the sliding glass door.
Mm-hmm.
So I can just open the sliding glass door and let all of that vent out. So, right? Brent's saying that I should use my 3D printer to print a larger 3D printer.
I feel like it's got to go from larger to smaller. You can't go smaller to larger.
I think that's true of like pictures and JPEGs too. I feel like that's the thing, you know.
Yeah, your resolution is going to get more pixelated.
Right, and then you just end up with like something that looks like it's straight out of Minecraft or something. It'd just be horrible. Your 3D printer would be it's Minecraft-esque.
Unless that's your goal. If your goal is to make Minecraft look and stuff.
I mean, you know, Minecraft has been very popular.
Now, there's a miniature company. I've been in love with their miniatures ever since I saw them, but they're ridiculously expensive, and they recently started selling their STLs.
There you go.
So after you get some practice and feel pretty confident in it, I'll pick up some of the STLs and share my STLs in return for miniatures.
I'm totally on board with this plan. Once we figure out how to do all of the printing thing, I intend to print an insane number of miniatures. I mean, I my whole thought is I can take Daz Studio and pose now people in poses, print that out. And then, yeah, I mean, so I can have, you know, if we've decided that I've got a character who's always, you know, or whatever, then I can literally pose a 3D model that way and print it. You know, I mean, I think about a number of our characters that we've always had, you know, and all of the characters have something interesting and unique that they could make, you know, that could make a 3D print out of. I think
I'm going to need a miniature of Martin Short in his costume from Three Amigos, because the latest Zombicide has done Chevy Chase and Steve Martin as their characters in Three Amigos, but apparently Martin Short has put up a legal wall keeping them from doing his characters. So now you're only getting 2 of the Three Amigos, because they're not officially the Three Amigos, because that's the way Zombicide's always done it. It's always been copyright adjacent characters.
Right, but why? I mean, it seems weird that Martin Short would, but not Chevy Chase, since Chevy Chase is like much more that kind of person.
Right, from what I understood. But and this is going off of what I've seen on the comment forums, because me and several other people were like, hey, where's the third Amigo? And one person responded, there's issues with Martin Short. So it's kind of like, well, now it's not a complete set if you don't have that third Amigo in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 2 Amigos. That does seem to be an issue.
Yeah.
We'd have to, I'm sure somebody will make the STL. If they do, fetch it.
Yeah.
And then I will print it with great glee, or Brent will print it with great glee.
Really, pretty much any El Mariachi character with a gun and not a guitar would probably work, because they're just wearing mariachi outfits.
Yeah, but somebody's going to model one that actually fits, that's the right way. And I think that that's probably better.
Yeah, if they do, then yes. If they don't, instead of waiting years and years for it to happen.
Fletch. David's waiting for Fletch. I'm sure that we might be able to find that too. You never know. I'm just saying. It could happen.
Yeah. Well, then you also need one of a girl just in a bath towel, so you can reenact the scene where she answers the door and he says, I hit a water buffalo. I need your towel.
That is, I've got to admit, man, there was some serious clever lines in that movie. Oh man. Chevy Chase is an interesting comedian. I mean, his career has been weird. Like, you know, on Community, you know,
right?
He's like really strangely bizarre, which is like apparently closer to his real personality. So, yeah, it's a thing. I find that fascinating.
Yeah, Joe McHale from Community actually played Chevy Chase in the pseudo documentary of one of the writers from Saturday Night Live. I'm having trouble remembering what that was called, so I'm going to look it up real quick.
David Coyle says, you remember all the bath towel scenes from the 80s.
All of the bath towel scenes.
And the Phoebe Cates scene. You always remember the Phoebe Cates scene.
So it was, it's not good. It was a Netflix movie.
Right.
A Futile and Stupid Gesture was the name of the movie. I don't know if it's still on Netflix or not, though.
Well, that's still cool.
But yeah, if you'd like to see Joe McHale play as Chevy Chase, then there you go.
Cool. So Yep. Brent's got it.
So speaking of 3D printing,
I like Fruitile.
one of my kids actually designed and printed this pig toy. Is it going to focus? If I get out of the way, will it focus? No, not quite. I'll pull it back a little bit. But it's a pig toy, and he designed a hole in the center and this little plunger to go in, and you're supposed to put a little plastic marble ball in there, and you push the plunger, and it just launches out of his belly. And it's from a video game, and I can't remember what video game it was from. But they didn't print the ball right. So he sent in an order to have the ball printed, but he didn't double check his dimensions. So this is the ball that he got back.
Yeah.
So I was joking he needs to make another one of these, but in scale to shoot this ball.
Yeah.
But that was through the library because they'll do free 3D printing for you. It's like the barest of lines of like you can see all the striation lines in it and everything.
That's definitely a PLA.
Yeah, it's free. What do you expect?
Size matters.
He cares enough to shoot you with a wall.
Yeah, it makes it a ball bearing.
Is that the wall bearing? Load bearing ball?
A load bearing ball. A load bear. Load bear? Bear. I think we've gone off of this one.
Well, I'm going to blame Chelsea because she's not here to stop us from doing that.
We are once again unsupervised.
Yep.
Though I reached out to Chelsea to talk to her, just see how she was doing and everything like that, and she's thinking that her schedule might loosen up a little bit more soon. So return here, which would be good because we're really just we're unsupervised. So
well, we had that whole topic we were going to cover about censorship like 2 months ago,
and
then we haven't gotten to it yet.
Yep. David, to answer your question, we're live on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch at this moment.
All at the exact same time, but probably like 30 seconds to a minute behind.
Yeah, Brent has played the game of trying to see which one's going faster than the other, and he did like all this analysis. It was really cool when it was on my show because my show's got them in different things. And I don't know whether StreamYard has a different layout than Restream because I use Restream for my show, and we use StreamYard here for Geek Tank. So I'm not sure which one runs better or worse. I'm not sure, but to answer your question, we're out on YouTube, Facebook, and we are out on Twitch. And while we're here, we should remind everybody that Geek Tank is sponsored by Kieran Games, Geekway Homes, Shiny Garden, and your mom. So
I was about to remind you to do that.
Yeah, that worked really well, actually.
So this is kind of far in the future, but I did happen to notice today that July 27th, it's a Tuesday, not a Thursday, but that's Gary Gygax Day.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be cool is if either July 22nd or July 29th, when we do our show, or maybe pre-record something, it might be neat to do an actual live play and see if we can't get a hold of the very first, like a copy in PDF of the very first Dungeons & Dragons set that was released.
That would be fun. I would love to do that.
Good old classic 0.0 or 1.0 or whatever it would be.
Right.
Because it was three books in a box. I think the small books, like not the big box, but like the small one.
I think I saw that sitcom.
Yeah. 3 books in a box.
Yeah.
It was a British show.
It was.
That they blatantly ripped off for 2.5 Men.
It's a thing. Or 3 Men and a Baby.
Mm-hmm.
Or 2.5 Babies.
Yeah. That was on like the Fangora movie channel. Or
yeah, it was.
Shudder or Scream or whatever that one's called. I think it's called Shudder's the horror movie one.
I have to give props. Somewhere along the line, I made the mistake of YouTubing like some of the goriest scenes in horror movies, and it was stomach churning. And I'm like, wow, these guys are good.
Do you remember any of them?
No. One was on a boat, like a cruise ship, and like the little girl is walking between all of the people standing on like
Ghost Ship. It's where they all got cut in half, right? Or like decapitated.
And she doesn't because she's a kid, so she's short.
Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. And
I thought the method in which the villain did it was really clever, of hooking up the piano wire to the chain on the anchor.
Yeah. That was cool. Interesting. Really disturbing. Cool.
Hey, 3 Orcs and a Halfling. I think that's a show there that David just came up with. Might be good to do.
There we go. That's what we should call it. Is 3 Orcs and a Halfling, or 2 Orc Halfling. No, two and a Halfling Orcs. There we go.
To koboldly go where no one has gone before.
Exactly. We can go along. We can get a lot of
mileage out of that.
Yeah, we can get a lot of mileage out of this. Anyway, so to our sponsors, just in case you do want to actually buy miniatures, that is definitely something that Kieran Games has.
Yeah.
Not just starships, even though that's really pretty much all I ever buy from him because I love starships. And just so you know, if you're out there, my friend, I don't intend to stop buying the normal starships. I'm only printing ships that I can't get readily and easily. Because those are the ones, like, for some reason, the Ambassador class never gets put out into the, like, game world. I have the Micro Machine, which was released in, like, 94 or whatever. But since then, there has never been a miniature of the Ambassador class, and I'm a little nervous now to put out.
Do that.
Isn't it weird? It's really strange. Like and since that's the Enterprise C, it seems like it's something you should have. And not only that, little things like they released all the information on the Enterprise B, but the miniature they're using is the Excelsior. And the Enterprise B is an Excelsior class refit with extra pieces and diddly bops on it.
So what's the difference between the Ambassador and the D?
The Ambassador class is smaller and like all kinds of things. Like
it looks like it's like the warp nacelles are a little more flatter.
Yeah, and it's got a round saucer.
Oh, yep,
and
I see it now.
Kind of an ovoid saucer, and
maybe it's too similar that then the people in charge of making the choices don't really realize that those differences matter to collectors.
Clearly they don't, because they like I said, they keep calling the B and releasing it with an Excelsior miniature, and those are two different classes of ship. They're different.
I need to check and see if Kieran Games has a HeroClix figure of Squirrel Girl. Yeah, I recently found out that they did 2 different versions of her, and it looks like she goes somewhere between $5 and $10 on eBay, and I'd rather buy it from Kieran Games.
Yeah. Well, and now Kieran Games is carrying the miniatures that they're putting out for Transformers, and then he has the Gen 1 Transformers, which are really cool. So I've already got the Optimus and the Bumblebee. And I'm going to try something else. People have been recently doing cell shading on their miniatures. I'm going to give that a shot. I've seen a couple of incredible cell shading things that are out there. So I'm going to give that the shot. I give that a shot and see what happens. I'm going to try to cell shade my Optimus and my Bumblebee.
I've got miniature knockoffs from the characters from Archer, and I'd seen where somebody had pointed them to look like the way the art style is from the actual cartoon, which is interesting, where they made all the lines very hard and dark colored.
I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Speaking of painting, this weekend is Reaper Virtual Con.
Yeah,
and I don't know if the classes have a limit since it's virtual, but if there's all classes were free, so you could go look up Reaper Virtual Con and check out miniature painting classes on there and see if there's any that you're interested in.
Right.
Just you'll get your paints and stuff set up and watch it on Zoom and paint.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds like a lot of fun. I kind of wish I was back in Colorado for that.
Yeah, because you don't have any paints there. You'd have to go to Sherwin-Williams and then have just one color and just. This spaceship is now cloaked. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much what all my ships are right now. All the ships I brought with me are cloaked, so it's difficult. Yeah. There's a lot of problems there. And so that's pretty cool. Well, this is also going to be my last weekend hanging out with my dad while we're here. My sister's coming in, and so we're going to hang out together and everything like that this weekend. So I won't be hanging out on ReaperCon.
No. So, and like you said, you don't have any of your tools and paints with you, so it makes it really difficult to do anything. I'm hoping that they'll make their classes, that they'll record them and make them available after the convention.
Really nice.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Because I won't be back in Colorado until next week. So, but I will be back next week for Geek Tank on next Thursday night, which is good. And I'll also be back for my show starting not next week, but the week following. So there'll be a lot going on. That'll be good. I'll be back in the swing of things. It'll be nice. I feel kind of anchorless without the regular pattern of things. Everything feels sort of, I don't know what day it is and stuff like that. So it's been a good thing Troy's been texting me because he's like, you want to actually do the show tonight? I'm like, you mean today's Thursday? You know, because I'm just so jubilated.
Last night, I could hear one of my kids going, I'm so glad tomorrow's Friday. And then my wife was like, tomorrow's Thursday. And for like 3 minutes, I was like, no, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes. And I had to come and say, if tonight's Thursday, then I'm supposed to be doing a show right now.
Right.
So it's surprised that my kid's actually getting thrown off, and he has online Zoom every day. So you think he would remember which day it is.
You're still working on online there?
Yeah, we've got requests in to get them back into class because the schools actually have been asking for more kids to come back. And so we're like, well, if you want them back, if you're ready, then we'll send them back. We just didn't want to send our kids back until the schools were actually ready to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, mine's crashing. So the teacher got on there and said, look, I can do much more with him if he's here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, so we're going to return him as soon as we get back up there. That's actually what's kind of pushing us to get back up there.
Hope you kept the receipt.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Sometimes, I've been trying to figure out how to. We were talking about baggage before, so
yeah,
that's a thing. Okay, guys. Well, we're getting kind of to the end here. There is one thing I did notice when I'm looking up all the random stuff, and I thought it'd be kind of fun. Amazon Halo is a thing, which is coming out, which I think is like a Fitbit sort of thing, or an Amazon iWatch, Apple iWatch, or something like that. But it's going to allow you to connect to your Alexa, so then you can have your Alexa like give you personal health updates. Alexa, tell me what my health is. I'm like, I keep thinking about that. And I'm like, I think my Alexa's already ready to start calling me names. So, now it's just giving it, it's just giving it free reign to go, you're fat. Hey, fatty. Yes, fatty. I will turn that on every time I'm like,
It needs to set it up so that way anytime you're about to eat, it'll interrupt you.
Right.
I've noticed your
eat.
I noticed your hands have been going towards your mouth a lot. Are you eating again?
Oh boy, that could go bad, couldn't it? So the other thing I was thinking about with that, though, on the flip side, though, wouldn't it be interesting if you did have, like a Fitbit on your wrist that could be programmed to realize that you're having a heart attack or something like that? Alexa does have the ability to connect to a phone line and things like that and make calls. So you can make it call 911, right? Alexa says, do I look good in this in this laptop? Do I look good in this dot?
Does this USB cord make me look fat?
Yeah, does this dot make my butt look fat? These are all the things. But it is something that's interesting, and it's the thought of having a wristwatch that might actually be able to save your life. I think that's kind of cool.
Well, they have the life alert thingies, which is pretty much
push the button. That's the thing. I mean, life alert's great as long as you're still cognizant enough to press the button. But if you're not,
they had monitor type devices too. But
yeah, it's got like an accelerometer. So if you fall down the stairs, it can do something. I mean, I just was thinking, I'm in a situation right now where this is sort of top in my thought processes. So, it's just kind of an interesting idea.
Yeah, but since Fitbits do monitor stuff, I imagine a Fitbit would be able to monitor your pulse, and there's probably an app for it.
There's an app for that.
Did my heart stop app?
Right. Dial 911 app.
Then you just wear a little pouch with electrodes already hooked up to you. So if your heart does stop, it'll just automatically shock you.
Right. Oh, my heart. Clear.
And then when you hiccup and your heart stops, it'll just shock you on purpose.
Or sneeze. Watch you.
That'll teach you to sneeze.
Right? I was going to say, can you get like a Pavlovian response going for this one? Or maybe we'll see if I can just read cards at that point in time, and I'll have to chew gum so I can leave it. Still one of the best scenes.
Be the next YouTube, next YouTube sensation.
There you go. Anything could happen,
but it doesn't.
Right?
So no idea what's happening next week. I guess if we have Chelsea, we might do our censorship episode. Otherwise, we'll figure something out.
Yeah, and I'll be back in Colorado, and you'll be back in Colorado because you didn't know you left, but you did, and so you're in the Twilight Zone, or maybe you're just in the Beyond part of Bed Bath & Beyond.
Could be, or I'm lost on IKEA somewhere.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, and we'll see you all next week. That's all the time we have for you.
You've successfully wasted another hour with us.
You can't get it back. No. Yep, we're Rocky Mountain Geek Tank on all channels. So look at us, like all those channels that you just lulled in.
Mm-hmm. I know, and they're not even seeing who I'm actually lulling to, when I really should do this and click only on Facebook.
It's funnier when you see it over here on the sidebar because he's releasing it on all channels.
Releasing the Dragon.
The Hounds, Tom Hanks. So, you know that David's out on YouTube, right? So if you're responding to David, he's not hearing you.
So I need to go to YouTube is what I need to do.
Yeah, so you're not helping.
Well, I can hide it. I wonder if that hides it from just me or everyone.
No, it just makes no sense to people, which is fine.
That's fine.
Yeah. So we're being unclear out there.
There, now I've thrown it to YouTube.
There you go. Okay, that's all the time and that we are going to waste of yours that we have today.
For today.
Until next week, I've been Guy.
I've been Troy.
And this is Geek Tank.